Okay guys, little update. I've been working really hard on this thing for the past couple days and making some pretty good progress here. As you can see, basically got everything cleaned up over here. I think I showed that before, and starting to get all the wires run the way I want to. So you can see the injectors run here, meet there with the coils. Go through here and meet there, and we have the VVTi solenoid plug, and then underneath here runs the throttle position sensor, and then two knock sensors, one here and one over here. So that's all that's basically coming in through this bundle here, and that goes around. Basically I moved the igniter, which was down over here, to the back of the firewall, and that's bolted in. That has to be grounded. Basically everything is not loomed yet, so I still have to loom it with that. But I wanted to make sure that I get it wired up and everything runs before I went ahead and loomed everything. So, and it runs over here. Now the wires are much longer than they need to be, so I'm gonna have to, once I get it in through this hole and mount it down here, and when I get the wires over there, I'm gonna have a lot of extra wires, so I may shorten them up. I don't know. I may de-pin these and clean this up a little bit more so they're all the exact length I need. So okay, let's move inside the car. So what I did was I ran the brake lights, fuel pump, and all that, sending unit, all that stuff, the turn signals, all that, which I'm not going to use the turn signals right now, but they are run up here. This comes up here. That used to come over here, and I was going to do that, come over the top and then go over, but I decided to come up over here, split it right here, come across up the side, and that is going to be the yeah, that's the fuel pump and lights. Okay, so that's gonna come over here, and then I brought my battery cable from the back up through this grommet here. There's a nice little grommet, and then it's zip tied underneath to my to the what do you call that, subframe connector underneath here, and then it wraps around to this block. So I went ahead and instead of mounting that block to here, I mounted the block to the back of the firewall there. So I have main power coming in here. Okay, I have starter here, which goes over to their little grommet over there, and then this here is the alternator. So that's going to charge the battery. It's going to mount there, okay, and comes through that hole there with a grommet. Okay, so yeah, basically everything's starting to shape up. It's a lot of work rewiring a car. So let me show you what we're gonna do today. This video is going to take a while to make because there's still a lot to do, and I don't want to just put in piecemeal videos anymore. I want to make it so you guys can see like the finished product and starting it. So okay, so what we did was I went ahead and just for simplicity's sake, I ordered this 6-switch rocker panel from Painless. Okay, so this basically takes the place of all of the switches that I'm going to need. So instead of just buying individual switches, I picked up this panel here, and it comes with all your wire ready, and it comes with all the gauges you need. Okay, the gauge wire you need for each one, and they're all labeled for where they go also, which is really nice. I believe it should be labeled. Okay, maybe they're not labeled, but it does come with the directions. Yeah, here they are. So it tells you, you know, what's what. you know, red 10 gauge goes to the battery, black chassis ground, and so on all the way down. It tells you what everything does. Okay, and these switches are rated to handle some good current. So, you know, I can hook up my nitrous to one. I can I'll have the fuel pump. It needs to be on a relay. The fuel pump and an electric fan. Okay, but I'm not running an electric fan. I have my fan is on a thermostat, so I don't need to run that up here. So yeah, and then it has a start button. Okay. So yeah, so basically where that's gonna go is, let's see if I can set the camera so you guys can see it. Basically gonna go in here, right in here. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Basically gonna cut the Scott rod panel that I have that goes here. I'm gonna cut a hole for it for this and mount this, and then go ahead, and all my wires are gonna be really close. You know, they're gonna be behind here, and they'll be really close to run down to that to my relays, to my fuse block, and over to the power there. You know, there's a main power wire here that can run right to that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. And like I said, this may be a couple day video, and you know, because I'm gonna shut the camera off and then get to work, and I'm not gonna film every single thing I do. So, but anyway, let me get to work. All right, guys, I got the hole cut. That's not as easy as you think to cut a square hole in thin aluminum. You know, this aluminum's pretty thin, and I had to use a angle grinder, you know, to cut this, because you have no way to enter, you know, with like a jigsaw or anything like that, and you don't want the thing like with a jigsaw, you don't want it flopping up and down and bending it. So, but I think I got it. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Like I said, you can see how I mounted it in this panel here, where I cut that hole. And you know, you got all your switches. We've got a start button here, so I'm not going to be using the key anymore. Basically, just the key is only going to be to unlock the steering wheel, and that's it. And then ignition. So this ignition switch here, that's going to basically turn everything on. It's going to turn on the fuel injectors, the ECU, the coils, and basically everything that needs power is going to be turned on with the ignition switch. Okay, so the fuel pump's going to be run off of a relay, so I'll be running an extra relay for that, and it also has a prime too. You can prime it manually. And electric fan, I'm not, like I said before, I may run like a bypass to here if I decide to, or in the future if I run an electric water pump. I don't really foresee that with this motor. I know somebody makes one, but I don't foresee using an electric water pump or this extra switch for the fan, unless like you're in the pits and you want to turn the fan on manually, you know, just to cool the motor down. Even if it's not overheating or anything like that, you can just manually do it. And then this one here, I'm most likely gonna switch this to nitrous, or maybe this blue one. Maybe the blue probably is better for nitrous. And then I have an extra that I can hook to whatever I want. Probably lights. I'll probably run lights off of that. So this way I don't have to run anything. Like all that wiring that was in the dash I don't have to run any of it at all. Everything is run right here. The brake lights will still be running off of the brake light switch. So there's nothing going to be different there. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really clean. And then if I decide to run gauges here, I may put some gauges, I may not. You know, I may in the future. I'm really considering the Fuel Tech, which it's basically the ECU and dash all in one. And you know, I might want to just mount that up here, like right off the steering wheel. So in that case, I actually wouldn't need gauges, you know, because it has everything. It has your your fuel pressure, your oil pressure. It has everything built right into it, with an O2 and all that. So I may go and do that. So I don't know if I want to dirty this up by putting holes in it, because then if I don't need it, then when I take the gauges out, there's going to be holes. I can leave this blank, and I may put the gauges. What I was thinking of was temporarily putting these gauges. I have these gauges here. Like I could temporarily put them here or something like that. Like mount them like that maybe. I don't know. Just something temporary so that, I can glance over and see it for now, while I'm running the stock ECU. So, but anyway, let's keep going. And I don't want to make these segments too long because I want to show you guys, being able to start the car with this new wiring. So let me get to work. Alright guys, there you have it. We got it working. So basically we're going to, now comes the task of having to clean up all these wires. Now I know it looks like an absolute mess, but if you look in the engine bay, it's exactly the way I wanted it. So everything's ran perfect through here. Comes to this spot here, and you can see where there's a bundle that comes to here. Now, what we got to do is basically loom everything. Everything's going to get loomed. And then once I get all that, well, actually, I'll probably finish in here first. So here's the relay board. I know everything looks a little messy, but this is all going to look a lot cleaner once it's all the wires are shortened and going where they're supposed to go. But everything on here is pretty much the way I want it. It's other than just routing wires, okay? So basically there's what, in the original harness, on a JZ, since it wasn't run the way I ran it, what ended up happening is a lot of wires were a lot longer than they needed to be. So that's why there's a bundle of wire in here that is not needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to de-pin, go through each one. This is going to take me time and I'm not going to video it. This is going to be the end of this video, but I'm going to de-pin each one and make it the exact length it needs to be. So when it comes into the driver's compartment, they're all going to be the same, and it's all going to be loomed into a nice bundle, and it's going to go to 3 connectors, and that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It took me a while to get this thing all wired up, and I really love the way this came out. The switch panel. You got your ignition, fuel pump. If I want, I can run on an electric water pump or fan. I have an extra couple accessories here. One's going to be for the headlights, taillights. So yeah, that's it. I don't have to put any of the factory harness back in. It's completely ready to go. I mean, it's drivable right now. So yeah, that's the way I'm going to use it. And I don't think that I'll ever be driving this on the street again, but you never know. You still can. I mean, I could put the turn signals back on. I can do, it still has headlights. It's going to have brake lights. The only thing that wouldn't make it street legal would be the turn signals, but that's not really a big deal. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming, and this is, like I said, this is just the beginning of getting this wired. I have a bunch of other things I've ordered. So the next video, I picked up a UPR anti-roll bar, okay, that we're going to be installing, and it's got these sealed bearings that I really like. I wanted to try them. I used to have a Team Z anti-roll bar, and it used like bronze bushings in it, and I never really liked the way it it articulated. It had kind of a binding, and I wanted to give the UPR one just a try and see how these bearings work, because this has actual bearings in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, so that's gonna be the next video. We'll install that and getting it ready for the track. So all right guys, thanks for following along, and I'll catch you on the next video, and like, share, and subscribe, and I'll check you all next time.